Despite the fear, we made it a year. But does Trump deserve praise at 365 days? Last week was the one-year anniversary of the election of Mr. Trump. Some chose to scream at the sky. I'm thinking their childhood birthday parties were sparsely attended. Others, though, took time to reflect, like me.
Because that's when all of it comes out to relax and sit in the jacuzzi, he'll get it and he hates it.
Oh, that feels great. Whether you love him or hate him, you must admit there's been no one like Trump. Part celebrity, part guy who might have you killed. He may be the most entertaining political figure since Caligula. This is where I cue the montage.
It's called Make America Great Again. You see what's going on.
So how does the press treat you?
I hope they're showing how many people are in this room, but they won't. They don't even do that.
Vote for Big Luther Strange. And we have the most beautiful piece of chocolate cake that you've ever seen.
Coming from a different world and only being a politician for a short period of time, how am I doing? Am I doing okay? I'm president. Hey, I'm president. Can you believe it?
But he's not just a president. He's your outspoken cab driver. He's your rich uncle and your delinquent son. He's your boss, barber, and bartender, always with an opinion, a crude joke, and probably a gun. And he loves his meat well done.
In the land of the rising sun, where exotic food and uncooked delicacies abound, one man dared to have it his way.
Instead of ordering sushi or tempura, the man orders a well-done cheeseburger.
It's the story of one man's quest to stay consistent on every corner of the planet. Now he's introducing the Far East to some tough all-American meat with plenty of heat. Short man on a unicorn on a surfboard hanging 10 while singing the alphabet backwards films presents Shinzo Abe, Donald Trump, with a special appearance by Jaleel White as Steve, Beef Patty Rebel, Rising Sun, well done.
But at this juncture, we should ask, how is he doing? Which really means, how are we doing? Let's look at this otter eating at a table. Because the news is so good, who needs a handy chart to tell you? The otter tells you everything you need to know. Things are great. Stock market's rallying. We got 1 million new jobs. Consumer confidence is way up. ISIS is decimated. Pipelines are pumping. Then there's Neil Gorsuch, plus 12 other judges in lower courts. Regulations are rolled back. Illegal immigration is down by nearly half on the southern border. And those Paris Accords were flushed down like a costly turd. Not a bad list, right, Mr. Otter, huh? Yeah, just nod along. But we also saw a ton of fighting. It was a bit much, often becoming personal at times, but maybe it was warranted. Conflict has always been a one-way street. The left dishes it out, and the rest of us take it. But Trump gives it back and doesn't give a damn. He's more OG than Snoop, Ice Cube, and Ice-T combined. He's especially fearless to the media, who just can't figure it out.
Don't be rude. Attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude. No, I'm not going to give you a question. I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
The fact of the matter is, we're not fake media.
I'm talking about dangerous as in a journalist gets hurt.
Poison. That's what it is. It's a verbal form of poison, meant to affect your view of the media world.
I think he has rage-related hair loss. Poor Brian. But I believe that we have actually learned more about governance than ever before under Trump, because nothing is hidden and everything becomes a target. It's a poli-sci class taught by Rambo. But while I'm hopeful, the year's not over, and his tax plan, it bugs me. I'm a 2T guy. It's all about terror and taxes, and his work on terror, it gets an A. But with taxes, I feel kind of like this fella.
Look at it. Go.
Go. Go. Go, Cooper.
I'm right with you, little fella. Still, it's not a bad start. I'd say that we are all better off, including the screamers, even if they're too busy screaming to actually hear it. Let's welcome tonight's guests, shall we? The only Stein I like more is the one filled with beer. Author, political commentator, host of The Mark Stein Show, Mark Stein. He's not just my favorite host, but my favorite sandwich. Creator and host of The Rubin Report, Dave Rubin. If you ask her for her sign, she'll say dead end. National Review reporter, Kat Timpf. And an airplane hangar is his pup tent. Former bodyguard of my massive sidekick, Tyrus. All right. Yes. All these gang signs going on here. I'm a little scared. All right, Mark. It's been a year and the planet is still here. Are you surprised?
No, I loved him most when he was dancing with those Saudi princes. I've waited all my life for a man who knows how to dance with Saudi. I can't imagine John Kasich or Jeb Bush trying to dance with those. And it's good. It's a great show, Dancing with the Sauds. Have you seen it? It's like a big show over there.
Really?
And, yeah, Dancing with the Sauds. It's a great show.
What happens if you lose?
Well, that's not so.
Yes.
That's not so good.
There's a stadium for that.
Yeah, in the semi-final, they chop one of your feet off, and that makes it all a lot more difficult.
Oh, that's terrible. All right, Dave, how do you feel? Is the country better or worse or the same?
Well, Greg, you know I always do a lot of research before I join you here, and I checked, and actually everything that Trump has done, including the tweets, is exactly the same thing as the first year of Hitler in 1933.
But he's joking.
That was Twitter did not exist in 1933. If you were following along, it just feels that way because it's so terrible. But actually, think about it. I mean, when I was watching that montage, it was actually making me like Trump more because think about it, this guy has all the money in the world, all the power in the world, could do whatever he wants, and he has subjected himself to sitting at a desk with Halloween candy and these kids. You saw the thing, he called that one kid fat accidentally, and then he's dancing with Saudi princes, and it's like he could do anything he wants. He actually must want to do this.
Yeah, no, I think he reached that age where he doesn't give a damn, and like he's done everything he wants. So he's a 70-year-old man who's like, what the heck? I'll try this for a couple years. If it doesn't work out, I can play golf. And I mean, that's actually probably the best attitude maybe for a president. Tyrus, I feel like when I'm looking at what's going on, I feel like it's like Lollapalooza. It's not a presidency. There's like 3 concert stages all playing at the same time. And it's like there's the media, there's Trump, there's the parties. It's like so much is happening in so little time.
Yeah.
That wasn't really a question.
Yeah, I'm looking for the questions. I'm just going to wing it. I will tell you, you know what it is? He has changed the conversation in this country.
Yeah.
I've been lifting weights with the same group of guys for about 10 years. And we always talked about football, women in positive terms, and sports, and maybe complain about a bill or a nagging elbow.
Yes.
Not anymore.
No, it's all Trump.
We talking about taxes. We're talking about, you know, like, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And I don't know. That's a good idea. I wouldn't do that. You know, like, he's changed. He's brought politics into the living room. It's become the new national pastime. You know, the NFL and the NBA and their ratings are down because everyone's involved in what's going on in our government.
Interesting.
So I don't necessarily know if that's a bad thing.
I never thought of that. I thought it had to do with other things, but it's because people are more...
We're all talking about it.
Yeah.
Every move he makes, someone says, look what he just did. And then you look and be like, well, I'm cool with that.
Kat, what are your... it's never as bad as people say things are, but it's never as great as people says things are. So it's probably okay.
Right. Well, the left set the bar pretty low when he was elected. So
yes. He was Hitler.
Seeing as we're all here and we're breathing, we're not trapped in a bunker subsisting on like bean water, then we're doing a lot better than they predicted. But some of my favorite things have been the scandals that aren't scandals. Like, can we bring up that picture of my favorite thing to happen since he's been president? This was my favorite thing.
Yes.
People were so mad,
Yes.
but that's exactly how I sit at my desk. Because you know what? I have too much stuff to do to worry about manners and things like that.
Yes.
So I am very, very happy to see that represented in the White House.
You're a knee sitter.
Knee sitting needs to be excused.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a skill. I can't. I sat on both my knees. I'd be in a wheelchair.
So everyone was just jealous.
I think, though, too, I think there's another side to politics that we're learning, is that Trump has taught you not to take it as seriously.
Right.
Yeah.
But that was the fantastic. I mean, I will never forget, whatever it was, 9:57 on election night. All the people who know everything, in the space of 6 minutes, turned out to be wrong.
Including me.
The Democrats, the media, the celebrities, and half the Republican Party. And what I loved about him is he had no consultants. He spent less money to get elected than anybody since Benjamin Harrison. He had no ground game. He had no ads. He'd just walk on stage and start riffing about how Macy's stock price had tanked since they dumped Trump ties.
Yes.
And it turned out. People like Karl Rove said, "Oh, you can't do this. This isn't the way you're meant to do it."
Yeah.
And he did it, and it worked. It was fantastic.
Last word.
Well, I like that he's exposed who the crazy people are, because every one of us knows people with Trump derangement syndrome.
Yeah,
it's actually a mental condition that I've started just rubbing off the tea on Tylenol and handing to my friends. Like, take a couple of these, you might be okay.